How's it going today here at Nomad Mobile Maintenance and Repair? Today we were replacing the engine. We are replacing the engine on a 2006 Hyundai Accent. We've got the engine in the back of the truck. We're going to be pulling off the front clip, we're going to be pulling off the core support, and we're going to be pulling the engine straight out of the front of the vehicle. Currently we're draining out the coolant. We already got the AC recovered in the Mighty Cool Master Cool AC recovery machine. We're just going to keep cracking on it. We can see that there's some damage to the passenger side. The bumper is held on by some zip ties. So we're going to see when we're all done with this if we can make that a little bit nicer. But, you know, there is a fair bit of damage on it. And if I had known, I maybe could have pulled a fender or two from the junkyard while I was there. Thanks for joining us. Let's keep going. How's it going? We have made some progress, to say the least. We got the exhaust off. We have all but the starter wire disconnected. We have the torque converter bolts to do, the bell housing bolts, and the motor mount, and she'll come out. This engine transmission has a very nice set of mounts so that the engine really does not need to be supported. We're going to, and the transmission doesn't just flop once you remove the engine's mount over there. So this will make it a lot easier to get this engine out. Let's keep going. Thanks for joining us. All right, this is what I think everyone really wanted to see, the carnage of what happened. There's cylinder number 4. Yep, just decided to leave the chat. Made a bay view window out of the bottom of the block. It's definitely had better days. So let's just get this replaced. We had to remove the oil pan because the engine will not turn over, so we can't get the crank bolts, which is unfortunate, but not surprising given what's happened. So, on we move. All right, so we got the engine pulled out. We had to pull the pan off. As soon as we pulled the pan, the engine spun over freely, so that was a pretty nice thing. You can see right there. Currently have this on the front bumper lift. I cannot be happy with it. This is so much stouter than the previous bumper that we had on there. This is lifting it up, no issue. It is definitely heavy. My front suspension is squatted, but I am not too worried about it. So we're going to back this up. We're going to get this cleaned off just a little bit, and we are going to start putting other stuff and transferring parts over from this engine to the other one. Thanks for joining us. All right, so we got the new engine waiting to go in. We're going to transfer the remainder of the accessories back on the vehicle. We are going to swap out the timing belt water pump, although this is not a timing belt water pump. This is a water pump external from the timing belt. It's kind of a stupid design, but given the fact that I don't know the mileage on this engine, and a timing belt on an interference engine will 100% grenade it, and that could have been what happened to the other vehicle. And we can see right there she's leaking coolant. The only thing that I am truly devastated about, and I really mean this, yep, 2 broken studs in a horrible location. I am truly hoping that that is the result of someone snapping the bolts off and not them snapping off in the head, because no matter what, that is going to make my life so much harder than it already is to do those, because I had this out and I could have done it when I had the ability to, when it wasn't in the vehicle, when I was on the stand. So I'm pretty bummed out about that. We have a few more hoses that we're going to swap over, but in reality, there's not much left to do on this. Thanks so much for joining. All right, we're back. We got both those studs out, and we used one for the extractor in a straight cut hex key extractor, custom made to do that. Look at that. I cannot be more proud of the outcome on that. That turned out amazing. Basically, you just drilled the hole just slightly smaller than that hex key, and then hammered it in. I bet if I were to actually cut that straight so I could really hammer on it and find all the drill bits that fit that exactly, I'd have a very nice straight cut set of extractors, but we're still moving on. Let's get it done. Used engine is now in the vehicle. We are putting everything back the way that it came. We should be done in just a little while. Replace the timing belt, the water pump, those were leaking. We can see that nice new water pump. We got those new studs installed. Pretty thrilled about how that went out. Can't believe it, honestly. New power steering pump belt, new AC belt. The alternator belt was in good enough shape, and we couldn't get one quickly enough. So we are reusing that one belt, but customer is definitely aware in case they need to get a new one, but I don't think they will for a while. Now we're just going to be putting everything back together. So let's keep going. Good morning. I unfortunately did not get a chance to make a video last night when the engine was running, which is kind of a bummer because this did turn out fantastic. That new engine, or used engine, runs phenomenal. The purge valve on the back of the intake was super loud, but nothing really wrong with it. We had no codes. Given how the engine failed and there was a bunch of oil in the exhaust, I am a little surprised that the catalytic converter didn't have more trouble, but it definitely seemed to clear up just fine and run just all right. We do have to get this engine back to get the core value on it, which, you know, not too surprising. That's just how engines work. This engine is good for absolutely nothing, although I believe the salvage yards just melt them down anyways. You can see right there is our number 4 piston, or what is left of it. But the engine turned out great. We did get the water pump timing belt replaced. The timing belt had been replaced previously. The water pump, I don't believe, was, and that's one of the spots where it was leaking, was on the bottom side right there from that bolt on the engine that we put in. The belts, we got those replaced. We had those 2 studs break off on the other engine, or I guess they weren't broken off by us, they were broken off by someone, but we were able to extract those. That was huge. Nothing really that crazy. I would gladly do these engines all day, every day. They're really not that bad. They're pretty easy access, and there's a lot of vehicles that are similar to this in terms of the fact that you can pull the front clip off and then pull the engine out of the front of the vehicle, and it makes life a lot easier. You don't have to drop the trans, you don't have to do any of that. And I think one of the big reasons why this engine is so nice is because the transmission supports itself and doesn't have any reason to need a secondary support when you remove the engine. So that is pretty nice. But I wish I could have gotten a video of the engine when we were all done, but this is about as good as this can get. Thanks so much for joining us. This is Nomad Mobile Maintenance and Repair.